and welcome to Fastlane Racing. My name is Peter Major, two-time Formula Ford State Championship here in Western Australia and one of your instructors for today. Today you're going to be learning all about driving a Formula Ford race car. You're going to be learning braking techniques, steering techniques, track layout, cones, all these things that you need to ensure that you drive these cars nice and fast and nice and safely. Before you start your Formula Ford experience, just a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. You've all signed the indemnity form. This indemnity form insures you for any medical insurances you may need out there on the racetrack, but it does not insure you for the cars. Make sure you listen to your instructors at all times. Listening and understanding what they're trying to get you to achieve is very, very important to driving the car nice and fast. First of all, getting the car, remove the steering wheel. Okay, there's a spline on the back with a lever. Okay, basically the spline has to line up with the big spline on the bottom. To put the steering wheel on, you simply pull the lever back like so, slide it over until it lines up the spline, then let it go. Just make sure it's in place, it clicks into place. Pretty straightforward. To remove, same thing, slide the lever back, pull the steering wheel towards you, sit the steering wheel somewhere so it can't fall. As we said, getting in, both feet in, hands either side of the chassis, slide your legs in as if you're getting into a bathtub, all the way in until you're nice and comfy. To start and stop a Formula Ford race car, okay, you have your start button and an ignition switch. Ignition switch needs to be in the downward position to be on, and obviously the start button, and it will start the car. To turn the car off at any stage, if anything is to happen out there, simply click the ignition switch to up and that'll turn the car off. In an emergency, to get out of these belts in a hurry, you simply twist the turnbuckle to the left or the right, the belts will release and you can jump out and walk away if you need to. Different from a conventional car, your gear lever is on the right hand side. Okay, there is a 4-speed gearbox built into these Formula Ford chassis, like a normal gearbox. First, okay, across to the gate, and you'll feel that there is 2 gates, one to here and further over. First gear is forward against the left-hand gate. Basically push it in to grab the gear. Second, back towards you. Third, across to the gate. And fourth, back towards you on the right-hand gate. Neutral is in the middle. Okay. If for whatever reason you do need reverse gear, it's down to the left, into the gate, and forward. A Formula Ford has 3 pedals like any conventional car. Clutch on the left, brake in the middle, accelerator on the right. The most important pedal in a Formula Ford is the brake pedal. The braking is used to slow the car down and get you set up for the corner. One of the things we're going to get you to do whilst driving the Formula Ford is to try and heel and toe while braking. What a heel and toe is, you're pushing on the brake pedal nice and hard. Whilst you're doing this and you're going to go down a gear, you blip the throttle. The blip of the throttle lifts the engine speed, or the engine RPM, to match the road speed as you're going down the gear. It's a pretty simple technique. Push on the brake pedal as hard as you can, slowing the car down. As you blip, roll over, open a bit of throttle. All you got to do is lift the RPM just slightly so that when you go back a gear, it slots in nicely into that lower gear. When you're out in the car driving today on the track, there is a few ways that we communicate with you whilst driving. A couple of flags you really need to pay attention to. Firstly, the red flag. You see one of the instructors on the track with a red flag pointing at you. We want you to slow right down, pull over to the side of the track and stop and wait instructions from the instructor. The other flag we use is the green flag. The green flag is an overtaking flag. Again, we'll wave this to you when it's safe to overtake. It'll happen mainly on the start-finish straight. There is also overtaking coming down the hill on the short straight there too. If for whatever reason you do catch a car through the S's, up the right-hander or down onto the straight, okay, make sure you just give yourself enough room so if they make a mistake in front of you, you don't get caught up in someone else's accident. If you do see a green flag, okay, and you're the car in front, make sure you stay to the left. The faster car will overtake you on the right. Okay, be sure to check your mirrors when you're driving around out there as well. The checkered flag, like at any motorsport event, means that the race is over. When the checkered flag is waved at you, make sure that you do slow down and work your way around back into the pit lane. Surprising enough, a lot of accidents happen after people receive the checkered flag. It's still very important that you concentrate on what you're doing until you've driven into the pit lane and come to a complete stop. Formula Ford race car, one of the most important things to driving this car fast is the brake pedal. We will hold a brake sign out and point at the corner where you probably need to apply more brakes. To go fast in one of these cars, you need to master the art of braking. Braking is very, very important, not only to slow the car down to get you through the corner correctly, but to get the weight on the front tyre to give you grip so that when you do turn the vehicle, it's going to respond in the way it needs to. If the brake sign's held out towards you, make sure that you try and obey the signal and you use more brake pressure, either turn 1 or turn 7. Another thing that you need to learn is that if you get yourself into any sort of trouble out there on the track, in one of these race cars, very short wheelbase, cars can go from having a lot of grip to no grip extremely quickly. If you get the car in any sort of slide or any sort of moment where you don't think you're going to catch it, or it sort of catches you out and scares you a little bit, the brake pedal is your friend. Okay? If you're heading for the grass or anything like that, get on the brake pedal. Stop the car as quick as you can, gather your thoughts, and then re-enter or drive on the track slowly from there. Remember, braking is the key to driving these cars fast. Now that you've heard everything there is to know about driving these cars, it's your turn to get behind the wheel and have a great day.